Imagine a city split in two pieces overnight. Imagine waking up one morning to find your city has been divided in half. Streets that once connected lives now lead to dead ends. Your job across town, out of reach. The neighbor you wave to daily, gone, separated by an impassable divide. This wasn't some dystopian fantasy, it was reality for Berliners. For nearly 3 decades, the Berlin Wall carved through their lives, turning connections into memories. This is the story of how the Berlin Wall divided a city, its people, and its soul. Welcome back to Epic Explorer, guys. Let me explain how the life exists before the Berlin Wall. In the years following World War II, Berlin was a city of contradictions. It was divided into 4 sectors, controlled by the victorious Allies, the Soviets, Americans, British, and French. Over time, this division hardened into 2 opposing worlds. The Soviet-controlled East Berlin became the capital of East Germany, a socialist state. Meanwhile, West Berlin aligned with West Germany, a capitalist democracy. Though separated ideologically, the city remained physically open. People crossed sectors daily, living in one and working in the other. East Berliners sought better-paying jobs in the West, while West Berliners enjoyed cheap services like haircuts in the East. This uneasy coexistence didn't last long. On August 13, 1961, Berlin awoke to chaos. Overnight, East German soldiers had sealed the border, families were torn apart, jobs lost, and lives disrupted. Officially, the government claimed this was to prevent Western spies from infiltrating their socialist utopia. In truth, it was a desperate move to stop a growing exodus of East Germans fleeing to the West in search of freedom and opportunity. At first, the wall was just barbed wire and makeshift fences, but the border soon evolved into a massive fortified structure. Concrete slabs, watchtowers, and armed guards transformed it into an impenetrable barrier. Streets, parks, and even buildings became part of the wall. Some homes literally straddled the border. East German authorities evicted residents and bricked up windows, though they sometimes missed a few. A tragic escape attempt by the residents. One such overlooked window became the focus of Peter Fechter, an 18-year-old frustrated by the wall that kept him from his sister in the West. Together with his friend Helmut, Peter hatched a bold plan. They discovered an abandoned building on the border with a window offering a direct view of freedom. On August 17, 1962, they decided to make their move. Removing their shoes to stay silent, they crept into the building. Luck was on their side. They found an open window leading to the border zone. Beyond it lay freedom, a fence, a clear strip of land, and the wall. But freedom came at a cost. As they scaled the first fence, guards spotted them and opened fire. Helmut sprinted through the hail of bullets, scaling the wall and escaping to the west. Peter wasn't so lucky. Frozen in fear, he hesitated until Helmut's desperate screams jolted him into action. Peter made it to the wall, but was struck mid-air by a bullet. He fell, bleeding, to the ground. For 50 agonizing minutes, he lay there as onlookers in the west shouted for help. No one came. Peter died in the shadow of the wall, his tragic story becoming a symbol of the human cost of division. The evolution of the Berlin Wall. Peter's death was just one of many, but rather than deter the East German regime, it only inspired them to fortify the wall further. Over the years, the Berlin Wall became a near impossible barrier. The final version, completed in 1975, was a masterpiece of oppressive design comprising of the following hard rock materials. The concrete barrier, the first thing visible from the east, this wall blocked any view of the complex defenses beyond, making escape planning nearly impossible. Ground covered with steel spikes designed to pierce the feet of anyone attempting to cross. Barbed wire stretched across concrete posts. Any contact triggered alarms, summoning guards stationed in watchtowers. A barren stretch of dirt in full view of armed guards. There was nowhere to hide. Smooth concrete slabs topped with rounded pipes, designed to make climbing nearly impossible. Escape became a game of innovation. People tunneled under the wall, rammed vehicles through it, and even built homemade aircraft. Each successful escape inspired East Germany to add more obstacles, escalating a deadly arms race between human ingenuity and oppressive control. While the wall oppressed East Germans, it became a canvas for Westerners. The smooth concrete slabs on the west side were covered in graffiti, art mocking the regime, demanding freedom and expressing hope. The east side, however, remained stark and untouched. Artistic expression there was unthinkable, highlighting the stark contrast between the two worlds, one free and creative, the other silent and repressed. Daring escapes and hope, not all escapes ended in tragedy. Some became legendary acts of courage and creativity. Take the story of Günter Wetzel and Peter Strelzik, two friends who dreamed of a better life in the West. After reading about hot air balloons, they decided to build their own. Using scraps of fabric and a homemade burner, they constructed a balloon capable of lifting their families over the wall. In September 1979, they launched their daring plan. As the balloon rose, a tear appeared, threatening to send them plummeting to the ground. Miraculously, they patched it mid-flight and made it across the border, landing safely in the West. Their story, like many others, became a beacon of hope for those trapped behind the wall. The legacy of the Berlin Wall. The Berlin Wall wasn't just a physical barrier, it was a symbol of the Cold War, a stark reminder of a world divided. It cut through families, friendships, and dreams. But it also inspired resilience, creativity, and an unyielding desire for freedom. On November 9, 1989, after years of protests and mounting pressure, the Berlin Wall fell. Berliners from both sides gathered to tear it down, reclaiming their city and their shared humanity. Today, remnants of the wall stand as a powerful reminder of the cost of division and the enduring strength of the human spirit. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing our channel. Comment below.